Hey, what's up, guys? I just made a video about, and we talked about like forgiveness isn't a feeling, it's a choice, right? Something you choose to step into, right? But that feeling often speaks so loud that it's really hard to get past it. And something that I have found working with a lot of people through this is that oftentimes the feeling comes from the memory of what the person did, right? But not necessarily what they did, but the conclusion that they walked away with. I'll give you an example. I had a gentleman, loved this guy, and when he was young, he would lose something. And then because he would lose something and couldn't keep up with it, his dad would tell him that you are not a man. You are not good enough, right? You can't keep up with the little things. You cannot do the big things. And so the trauma was what he said, right? But the conclusion that that maybe he's not a man, maybe he is not good enough, maybe he doesn't measure up, maybe he's not worthy, right, to be responsible for little things, if not big things. And so the conclusion he walked away with is that that stuff is true, and he carried that with him for decades, okay, which caused a lot more pain, right? And so every time he would think about that moment, he re-felt the pain of the conclusion that he came to, agreeing to that what his dad said is true about him. It was never true about him, right? That was his dad speaking out of his own pain and whatever else, but it was never true. But he believed it was, and he lived that out. And so oftentimes what ends up helping is actually stepping back into the memory, right? And actually going through it again and having Jesus reframe the memory so that you now come to a completely new conclusion, right? A conclusion that, oh, dang, that's not who I am. I am who God created me to be from the very beginning. He created me to be enough, to be worthy to be called his son, to be worthy of redeeming. Like, you're good enough, right? You made it. Just because of who you are, not because of anything you've done or how people have treated you, right? And so from that new framework of that memory, the conclusion changes. The identity from that starts to change, and the feeling from it starts to go away, right? The feeling of not worthy, not good enough. And from that place of a new identity, right, which doesn't happen overnight, it's a process, right? But from that place, you more easily step into forgiving that other person because the conclusion has changed, the identity has changed, and the belief about yourself has completely changed. And the pain literally turns into inner healing, joy, and that's it.